Ken and I both studied film at Queen's, and I think we both like have experience as like performers when we were like young kids or teenagers, like in bands or like school plays or like kind of acting and doing kind of funny things. So maybe there's the appeal of being on stage and looking into it as like a performative thing, doing the music, but also you kind of have this like rough script every night, but you're still going to improvise and you're not necessarily going to stick to your lines. So we just wanted the music to sort of, I suppose, every night you go out, you play, whether it's half an hour or an hour, you don't leave anything off the stage, you put it all out there, and we always wanted to give it, no matter what show or where we're at, to, because we put so much love and effort into the music, it deserves to be performed that way, with that much energy. Yeah.
What were you studying?
So it was Belfast, Queen's University at film, then cinema and stuff. So that was our introduction.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember. We met on a night out, a party. I think I vaguely knew Ross. And then we were trying to get a band together and just kind of saw through social media that he had a Gilla band poster in his room. And I was like, that's cool. Should be in a band with this guy. So that was, he was like the only guy in film school, definitely, that knew who Gilla band, girl band were.
Best taste in the school, obviously. Yeah.
How old were you at that time?
18, 19.
Wow.
Yeah. How old are you now?
I'm 26. 27 in 2 weeks.
I'm 27.
So it's been a while already. So it was difficult to start jamming and creating something.
I mean, it was fun because we were in film school. We did make a joke at one point. It was kind of like dads going bowling. Like it was just, we just did it for fun because and we just learned covers of like Fontaine's DC songs, and we did an Arctic Monkeys cover, the Black Keys. We were super more like a garage rock kind of sound, because that's kind of where when we were kids, that's what we were kind of playing a bit more, just like free guitars on stage, that kind of buzz, So, it was just like a very fun thing to do at the start, and then it kind of just became a more serious thing over time.
That side of the glowing electronic part, that was from the beginning as well? Or?
Oh, no, that took like a few years to figure out that, because we sort of started as this like guitar band. It was probably like 3 or 4 years of actually ever writing a song that had no guitar in it, but maybe keyboard and samples and stuff. So I think that just came down to like not really knowing how to work any sort of like learning how to work music software and how to actually write a song or a demo that's not in a room. It's actually just like produced on the screen, and through that, like learning how to program and sample and produce songs whilst learning how to write at the same time. So all the songs that we've wrote have all kind of came from being on that laptop and being on doing a lot of electronic sort of production, just being able to pull up certain sounds and I suppose samples and different things. So that's just sort of informed our process. We wrote an EP, Conditions 3, and I think there was a point where there wasn't a studio space that I used to have for a while. I was sort of living out of home, and it kind of forced me to write more on like a laptop. So a lot of that influenced the music. So it just comes down to actually your environment as well. Like if you're on the road writing, or if you're in a room, that can maybe have a say in the music. Songs we write together, they sort of start as a small idea, and then they're kind of brought, and we both sort of work on them and sort of figure out arrangement and just a vibe as well, and what we sort of maybe want to say, but not necessarily in a room, jamming out too much. Although, who knows, maybe
Something for the future.
yeah, could maybe go back to doing that, get away from the laptop, see if anything else reveals itself,
Talk a little bit about Belfast.
Well, we're not from Belfast, but we've lived there long enough, I think, to sort of call it, you've been living there, it feels like home to you.
Yep.
And I'm sort of hoping to move back, but it's where we met and where we've went to see a lot of music, and a lot of, like, the best times of our life have been in that city. So it's a special place for us, and I think it's like a place that is probably certainly a very popular city for a lot of people to come visit, but also to sort of come, and even across all of Ireland, like, and the art and the culture that's coming from the island. Belfast feels like it's going to be a place to look at in the next, like, few years, especially I think through music as well. As much as Dublin and other bands around Ireland have sort of produced different acts and different genres, I think Belfast is sort of on the up.
Every time that you traded and forgot, you pick yourself up from the gutter channel. I don't care what you say, what you want.
When you realize, you say, okay, this is what we don't want to be.
Well, not be like I don't know, like a Parquet Courts was quite a big influence. So like just very much like a super, I don't know, garage rock kind of band. We were definitely influenced by the post-punk scene in Dublin, and a lot of bands there. Like, so we definitely, when we started, that's what we kind of wanted to do. And then maybe after a year or so, I guess maybe the big thing was we just didn't want to be tied to like a traditional band setup, and we want to be able to put like a sampler on stage and have like synths in the music, and not necessarily need like a live bass or anything like that, and use like track and all these kinds of things. So I guess we just wanted to expressly try and fuse as much of the electronic elements into our live performance as we could. Maybe something we always said early on was we wanted our shows to be like a DJ set. So simply that was like we didn't want to have any silence ever. We wanted to, now we have a little bit. We have a little bit now to give Ross a break, and has a little bit of a break sometimes. But that was our first thought, was we did want to treat when we were maybe even more band oriented at the start, we wanted to approach our live shows like DJ sets, and kind of like every song just went into another one there. It wasn't a conscious decision, but I suppose, I think we've definitely leaned more into like just going like all out club and stuff like that, and I think when we kind of think, oh, maybe we should go that a little bit of the way, we kind of be like, oh, like, let's just turn this room into a nightclub for like 3 minutes.
Even if it's daytime.
Yeah, in a record store at 4 p.m.
Why you naming the album that way, Crystalpunk? What is the meaning of that?
Well, Ross said the name. Ross came up with the name early enough in the process. We were thinking maybe of a different titles, and nothing was really quite sticking. And Ross kind of said it. And I think when he said it, it took me a little while to just kind of think about it, and it just kind of made a lot of sense. And I think, Ross can say, but like it's quite strong to have that kind of punk in there, because that's such an ethos for us. And then I suppose rather than saying like electronic or something like that, Crystal just kind of seemed to like symbolize a lot of the stuff we want to say with our electronic music.
We made this album mostly firstly for ourselves, but it was also an exploration of our like things that we went through when we were younger. So if you're growing up at say you're maybe 13 or 14 or whatever age you are, and you kind of discover like music, and you start to actually have, as you grow up, this sort of more emotional attachment to it, and certain songs you draw meaning, or they're like an escape for you, at least that's sort of what a lot of myself and other people I know like finally connect with it around that age. And if people connect with our music, that's a beautiful thing. I, in terms of like, maybe like the sound and stuff, it maybe some early stuff may not have has been as maybe I say attractive to people who are a bit younger to listen to. It might have been a bit too harsh, but I think we just wanted, with the album, we just sort of wanted to write something that felt fun and energetic to us. And maybe that's sort of come through. We've sort of seen it the last like year or so. Maybe we have connected with some more like younger fans and stuff. So that's great that we're certainly seeing it's a nice range, like also in terms of like demographic, age, like people are telling us that the stats, like, even enough, it's not really too one-sided in age or gender or anything, so. Just find people around you that you trust and that you love and that you want to work with, and if you're not 100% with them, then I think, you gotta maybe, I don't know, readjust and things. But if you have good people around you, people who support you, and that may not be the case for everyone, and like if it's art or anything you want to do in life, then you just got to find a way to survive and like power through that. But if you have that self-belief, then I think you really can do anything you want. So and don't be too hard on yourself either, I suppose.
Yeah. We I mean, we were playing when we were younger, and we weren't very good, but it kind of doesn't matter. It's great to just play music. If you want to be in a band, just play music and just try and write and make stuff that you want to play and that you're proud of, because you'll definitely get the most out of it if you do. Maybe it's it's also kind of a thing. It's like self-belief in not stopping, because it's like the only it's like the one consistent for anyone who's made it is that they didn't quit or give up. It's like if you told talent or anything, did like the actual one thing that everyone has in common who's like made it is actually they didn't stop. So yeah, just back yourself, and if you really want to do something, you really probably, it's for a reason, and everyone does have something to say, and if you believe in it enough, you can make it happen. It just might take a little bit longer than you think, and especially when you're younger, like 5 years seems like a lifetime, but we've been kind of doing this for like 7 now, and that took 7 years to do the debut album. Like, so just take time and try and have fun with it.